Why wouldn't I expand my mind? It's the only power I got. What is up, beautiful people? I am KayyG, and I am back with another book review. All right, y'all, it's been quite some time, but we are here, we are alive. Happy New Year's. Let's get right into it. So today, I'm gonna skip the formalities of everything, and I'm just gonna get into it. We are talking about the Millionaire Success Habits, okay? This was an amazing book. For one, check the I wish you guys could just feel it. It feels, now, okay, there's two different versions of it. I got the extended version. The original version don't quite feel like this, but it does look like this. But I love the matte. It's like a how you explain this? It's like a suede kind of feeling of it. But yeah, so this book was actually one of my favorite books on the list of books I have ever read. The main thing that I loved about this book when I was reading it is that Dean skipped the formalities, okay? He literally just dove in. He notated it at the beginning. He made us aware that he's just letting us know the information. He's not a freaking artist when it comes to writing books and the editing parts of it. That he just was himself. He spoke when he wrote. I felt like I was reading how he would speak, and I loved that so much because it made me feel like I was talking to a human being and not a robot. It wasn't just systematic. He was really talking to me. And if you're a person that really likes to connect with your books and the author that's writing it, that's exactly what Dean did in this one. So there are 7 main points that I thoroughly enjoyed while reading this book, and we are going to break them down in this video. Okay, so the first point that I wanted to mention in this book that really aroused me is becoming extremely clear on where you want to go. Having a crystal clear and intentional vision for your life. This is vital because, at least for a creative, it's easy to just dream, right? It's easy to just be in the wind. And as a non-creative, or I'm not going to say as a non-creative because we're all creative in some sense, way, fashion, or form. That's what the universe created us to be, right? However, it's so easy to get wrapped up in our worlds and not be intentional on our visions, not systemizing our visions to the point where we are now able to optimize our vision. You literally have to feel and smell where you're trying to go if you are intentionally trying to get there. That's an important part of becoming a millionaire. He says in his book, and here's the unfortunate truth for a society like this. It doesn't matter how fast you can go. It doesn't matter how much passion you have. And it doesn't matter how much energy you put into something. If you don't have a vision and clarity on your destination you want to reach, you'll simply never get there. He calls it a Ferrari brain, y'all. He calls it a Ferrari brain. So it's like if you're in a Ferrari and you're able to like really speed, but you have no destination where you're going to get to nowhere fast. So he speaks on really having clarity on where you're trying to go. This is a powerful point. I really want you guys to really soak this in. So if in the event that you feel like you're passionate about something, or you really feel enthused about a craft or a gift or a vision that you have, you really have to articulate how that's going to play. It's really up to you. It's not up to anybody else. And the thing about it is, when it comes to law of attraction, when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to the laws of life, the universe literally puts in your hands, puts on your lap what you want whatever you think about. So you have to be intentional about where you're trying to go. You have to be able to systemize where you're going. Put it in steps, write it down, make it some goals, knock some things off. Write it down on what you're trying to do so that you have a point and a place and a destination to drive to, okay? He says, think emotional, get engaged, get engulfed, and visualize specific details about what makes it so amazing. So like, for instance, for me, I know that one of my biggest goals is to have the perfect home for me and my future family, okay? So when I'm visualizing this thing, I'm visualizing me walking into my home. I'm visualizing the way it smells when I go to each room. I'm visualizing the way it feels, how my toes feel on the wood or how my toes feel on the carpet. I'm visualizing what I'm touching. I'm visualizing how I'm walking. I'm visualizing every surrounding that's around me. This is how you manifest what you want in your life. You literally have to be clear on it, okay? It's very important. Now, one thing that really impressed me about this book is the exercises that Dean put in it. One of the most extravagant exercises he has is the 7 levels deep exercise, and I definitely encourage you to try it. And the way it goes is you and the partner, you and somebody else, your friend, your family, your spouse, however you want to do it, but somebody that you're able to be comfortable and vulnerable with when it comes to what you're trying to do in your life. Somebody who's gonna be positive about that, right? So choose a encouraging and optimistic person during this exercise. But the way it works is you literally have somebody ask you why after every question, but it's always the same question as to why you want to do X, Y, and Z. So the way it goes is, my name is KayyG, and I'm trying to build a brand of fulfillment. Next question, well, why are you trying to build a brand of fulfillment? And I go, I'm trying to build a brand of fulfillment because I want to provide a platform to encourage people to be free and be themselves and just create and live fully and not get consumed by worldly things. Well, why do you want to create a platform for people to be full and encourage people, motivate people to live at their most optimized state? Well, I want people to understand that you can have everything that you want, and as as our natural senses, we typically want good, and we are able to give value in so many different spaces, and the world needs you to be you. So I'm encouraging people to really unleash that thing about them that nobody else has, and it's important for us to recognize it. Well, why is it important for you, KayyG, to get people to start thinking about the fact that they have this gift? And so it's just going down the line, and what happens is once you get to that 7th question, right, you get to that nitty-gritty point of the ultimate reason why you're doing what you're doing. And at the end of the day, for me, is I want to live a life where I don't have to answer to nobody. I want to live a life where my time is free, I'm financially abundant, and I'm literally just doing what I want to do and not what the world is telling me to do. And that's probably because I feel like all my life I've been consumed in everybody else's world and not living for myself. I fear living a average, mundane life. I fear not living to my highest potential. I fear having a family and not being able to provide for them the way I want to provide for them because I'm not doing everything that my calling is telling me to do. That's a miserable feeling for me. Those 7 layers unlock a certain truth that you typically don't dive into from the surface. You have to dig deep, and that's exactly what this digging 7 layers of digging deep exercise do. So that was one of the biggest and most profound and effective exercises that I've seen in any book, and I highly recommend you guys get into it. To my second point, exposing the villain inside of you. Let me tell you why this was important to me. This is a very important notion, all right? And I love that he shared his perspective on this. We are literally battling with two different versions of ourselves, right? There's a hero in us, and then there's the villain in us. Most of the world is feeding into the villain in themselves, and then they wonder why they're not getting or optimizing themselves in a way that's uplifting them, right? So he goes into sharing practices to help you expose that villain in you, the one that is discouraging you, the one that's telling you, well, it's okay to do this when you know you should be doing that, okay? The one that's putting doubt in your head, right? The one that is causing you to be lazy, all right? The one that is making you, the one that's not feeling you. We all have one inside of us. Here's the thing though, the way you live ultimately determines on which one you feed the most. The best thing about it is that you can literally corner that villain inside of you to the point where you don't even associate with it. It's not, there's no attention subconsciously and consciously that you're giving to it, because you've found and developed practices to rid it. So one of the major points that he pointed out was the villain grows from your past, right? So depending on how you were raised, how you grew up, it's all in the name of what's feeding you. It's all in the name of what's causing the operation of that villain inside of you. And it's important. It's your responsibility to figure that out so that you don't have to, one, operate in that space, and two, put that on to somebody else, because we are all human beings and together we make up a unit. And we have so many units a part of this world that's lagging, and that's operating not in purpose, and it's not allowing us to really be in that abundance, because we're not operating from a place of our heroic selves, right? I don't know. I thought it was very powerful. It's something that I think about all the time. Dean does suggest doing this exercise at least 4 times a year, just to make sure that you're on point and you're connected to that better part of yourself, making sure you know your why, making sure you know why you're waking up in the morning. Why is it that you're doing the things that you're doing? Why is it that you're giving yourself these goals? Why is it that you're moving, right? So we cannot be lazy with this practice. It's really important for our sanity, and it's really important for the rest of the world around you if you're going to be a productive, positive, and peaceful person in our society. Like, you at least owe us that. So do yourself a favor and figure out what the villain inside of you is craving and what the heroic part of you is craving, and decide which one you want to feed. So something else that I found very important was him mentioning to awaken the hero inside of you, you have to be aware of the 4 C's, okay? So the 4 C's, the first C is commitment, right? He says, a shaky commitment means shaky confidence. It's important to be confident in who you are. You have to be, let's start normalizing being extremely confident in who we are, right? The second C is courage, being courageous, walking out, stepping out, and understanding that you are different, or understanding that other people are different, understanding that you have your own visions, and it's okay to do you, period, and not care about what everybody else got going on, and not caring about what the villain inside of you wants to do or how to feel. Like, be courageous enough to step out and do your best. The third C is compatibility. And the fourth C is confidence. You just got to be confident in the way you move, the way you look, the decisions you make, the way you see people, your perspectives. You just got to be confident. And here's the courageous and the compatibility part of it that I really want to point out. So when you are living in confidence, right? When you are moving in confidence, it doesn't mean that you're always bright, to everybody. But to move in confidence means that you are strong and knowledgeable about who you are, but you are also open enough to receive other people's perspective and have open lines of communication to what other people are thinking. I think that's the utmost confidence, being able to present yourself in a powerful way and also be open and vulnerable enough to receive how somebody else is coming in the room. That is what confidence means, and confidence could take you anywhere you want it to go. Anywhere you want it to go, trust me. And one other exercise that he mentioned when it comes to exposing that villain in you and also the hero in you is answering the question of what's cool about you? Okay, what is cool about KayyG? What am I loving about myself? What makes me a dope individual? That's what you got to ask yourself. When you wake up and you look in the mirror, before you go to bed and you look in the mirror, when you're using the restroom and you look in the mirror, when you're laying down and you're just thinking about looking in the mirror, when you just moving, you got to ask yourself, what's cool about me? And ask yourself that repetitively. So in the small moments, when you at the grocery store and you just like pick up some trash on the ground and throw it away, and normally it's just something you do, but when you create that conversation in your head, you know what? That's what's cool about me. I am a very chivalrous person. Like, I give a damn. And I'm not looking for nothing back, but I actually give a damn about other people and other things in the world around me and just making it better and just giving my 2 cents in a positive way. That's what makes me freaking cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's having those conversations with yourself and really establishing the answers to that question. What makes you cool? I think it's important to notate. Now, let's go to the third point. So Dean talks about attraction and persuasion. He talks about how you can literally get what you want out of any scenario as long as you're following the notions behind his method of attraction and persuasion. I really connected with it when he was talking about it because I feel like I actually employ these strategies in my everyday life when I'm communicating with people. And it's very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I usually get what I want in the situation. I usually get what I want in the situation. But let me tell you why. So he says, attraction and persuasion are really just more elegant ways of saying marketing and selling, right? He goes on to say, people will learn from you, listen to you, love you, buy from you, and hire you when they feel understood, not when they understand you. Okay? He says, people will learn from you, listen to you, love you, buy from you, and hire you when they feel understood, not when they understand you. Okay? He says it 2 times. That's wild. I just realized that. He says it literally 2 times. I highlighted it twice. Look at this. He says the same thing twice. One of the biggest, I think one of the biggest things that makes me cool is the fact that I actually do give a damn. It's the fact that I am passionate about what other people got going on. I am enthused by other people's dreams and visions, and it's innately in me to want to give value and put myself in a position to help transpire somebody's dreams into reality. Like, I really give a damn about that. I'm really careful, and I'm really selfless when it comes to the dreams of other people. And so I resonated with this point deeply because I truly feel like the reason why I get much of what I want is because when I'm talking to people, whether it's a homeless man on the street or a CEO, founder, executive of a high-end brand, when I talk to people, I talk from my heart, and I talk to connect with their heart. I talk to connect with the better parts and versions of them. I talk to be able to be that platform or that outlet that they could speak out loud to outside of just themselves and be vulnerable in a way that they think and feel safe and understood. I come from that place when I have conversations, and I think that whether people are able to pinpoint what that really is or not, I know that I create experiences that people remember how I made them feel versus what I've done, how they felt understood and not just sold to, or not coming from not engaging with somebody that's coming from a selfish place or just a I need kind of. I never come from that position, and I think that that's why ultimately I get all the things that I want. Now, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. A lot of times in conversations or in different scenarios, you can expect certain things, certain results, and it don't come out the way you want it to come out. But when you go into it in a natural and comforting and understanding way, it may not happen at that moment, but something big is going to come to you somewhere else that you are not even expecting, because the universe rewards us for our kindness. The universe rewards us for giving value. And I think that's one of the biggest values that you could give to people, is coming from a place of understanding. That is the power of attraction and persuasion. I thought that was a powerful point, and it's true. It's so true. It is so true. I feel like even in the most weakest parts of my life, even when I'm just my most challenging parts in my world, I should say, I seem to always get the things that I need. A lot of times I get the things that I want. And that's because I know how to communicate with people in a way that makes them feel good about themselves, that makes them feel connected to something else outside of themselves. I am that person, and I think we all should be that person at some point. So look into that. Start thinking about that when you're having conversations with people. The fourth point in the Millionaire Success Habit that I want to mention is the power of passion. Okay, so this is powerful. He says, passion is the ultimate fuel for achievement and persuasion. I am not the smartest person in the world. He says, I'm usually not even the smartest person in the room, but I've always been the most passionate about everything I did, and I found confidence when I needed it. Those two success habits, combined with letting people feel understood, allowed me to overcome many obstacles and become fabulous at marketing and sales. Listen, he says, fundamentally and foundationally, passion, confidence, and helping people feel understood may be the secrets to my success. If you master attraction and persuasion, you're going to achieve amazing things at a speed that will boggle your mind. So, the power of passion really falls into the third point, but I made it a separate point because along with being confident, right? Along with making people feel understood, to be passionate about other people's passion, whether or not you see it at the beginning, it's something that will take you to places that you can't even dream about, because You never know who you're talking to or where that person's going to go in their world. You never know what kind of values and a mindset and perspectives and the notions that you've developed along your journey that you could instill in them. But a lot of times people are selfish. A lot of times people are listening to gain and not listening to fill somebody else up. But when you're able to fill somebody else up, when you're giving that kind of value in the world, that's how the world operates. That's how the universe operates. It all comes around in a positive and abundant way. So practice the power of passion. Practice the power of persuasion and attraction through passion, right? I really encourage you guys to start to really dive deep into who you are so that you can come out into the physical in a productive and effective way. So let's get into our fifth point, the power of happiness. So in his book, right, when he talks about the power of happiness, he lists a lot of different strategies to help you practice being happy and developing what being happy actually means in your world. I'm not going to go through that entire list. That's why you got to get the book. But he goes, if your heart is telling you to act, if your self-conscious is telling you to go for it, stop overthinking and start taking action. I could just shout right now. I don't know about you guys, but in my journey, one of my biggest challenges and things that I had to overcome was procrastination. I like to consider myself a happy person. I also am very hard on myself. I've learned how to ease up. And this book actually helped me a lot with that, because I learned that when you have a thought, a vision, when you have something that you're trying to do, something, the universe brought it to your mind and it's penetrating you, right? Most times we know what will make us happy. Most times we know what actions need to go down for us to feel good. Most times we know, man, if I could just live like this, everything would just be, most times we know that I don't want to do nothing but eat some good food and watch a movie tonight with my fiance. We know what makes us happy, right? We know what goes into that. On a big scale of things, right? We're also procrastinators. So even though you know what needs to go down for you to feel good about yourself and about the world around you, you don't fully engage in it or attack it. You dance around the idea. You just dance around the idea. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about that. Oh yeah, and you'll allow yourself to think about something that makes you happy and make that make you happy just because you're thinking about it or it's an idea, to the point where you're now miserable or highly unsatisfied because you haven't really tapped into that thing. You're just talking about it. A lot of the world deals with that. The reason being is I think that there's a lack of genuine physical mentorship, not just social media motivators, but real physical. I can call this person because that is my mentor and I know they're going to instill positive vibrations in me. They're going to help me get off my ass. They're going to really push me to be my best self. They're my accountability coach that I can literally call on. There's a big lack of that, right? So you got to be your own coach. And I challenge you to know what makes you happy and doing the work to get there, and not procrastinating on the task that gets you to a happy place. Because the faster you can get it done, the more that you'll be happy, period. And we need you to be happy because that's where your biggest and brightest and best ideas come from. That's how you're able to grow the world around you, right? Another good point that Dean mentioned about experiencing happiness is the practice of being grateful. The practice of literally being grateful for all the things that you have. Being able to smell, okay? Being able to taste, okay? Being able to feel. Being able to hug. Being able to love. Being able to receive. Being able to give. Being able to eat. Being able to walk. Being able to wake up in the morning. Being able to get into bed at night. Being able to have clothes on your body. Shoes on your feet. Being able to breathe the air that God has given us every single day. Being able to have abundance of life when you walk out that door, when you feel the wind, when you see the water, when you see the trees. It's the small things to be grateful for. That's how you build that muscle of happiness. And I thought that was very important to mention. All right. So, to our 6th point. All right, we almost there. Dean went in on this one. He really went in on this one. I salute you, man. I salute you. So, in this book, Millionaire Success Habits, he goes into giving us hacks for success, right? I'm not going to share all of them. He gives a big list of them. But here are the main ones. The first one, man, I love this part of the book. No cap. The first one, finding time to create. Giving yourself creative time. Are you doing that? Probably 94% of the world is not literally, deliberately giving themselves time on a consistent basis, whether it's a certain amount of time per day or certain days out the week or certain days out the month. Giving yourself time to create. We are creative beings. Our purpose on earth is literally to create, to take the resources we have and to put it together to create something bigger and better. That's our job here on earth, in my opinion. That's just my perspective. It's just a thought. But to do that, you have to give yourself and commit yourself to time to create, right? For me, I wake up early in the morning, and most times people are like, well, why are you waking up at 4 a.m. every morning? Well, the reason why I wake up so early is because when you think about the 24 hours that you have, what are you doing with those 24 hours that's going to advance you? What are you doing with those 24 hours that's going to allow you to really penetrate into our society in the way that you want to? I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I spend from 4 o'clock in the morning to about 8 o'clock. I spend a good 4 hours, at least 4 or 5 times a week, to create. Whether it's my clothes, whether it's to read, whether it's editing, whether it's content, whether it's all kinds of things that I do with library invasion. It's like so many different things that makes me KayyG, and there's no way that I could operate without feeling that creative part of me. So I literally and deliberately give myself time to create. When you could give, and I like to do it in the mornings so that when I go on the rest of my day and I'm filling other people's cup up, I'm not feeling empty because I filled my cup up when I was creating. That's the way you do it. You have to be intentional about that. Otherwise, you're just going to take from people and you're not going to have anything to give because you're not allotting time for you to experience that part of you. You got to tap into the greatest part of you. That's creation. That's being creative. Another hack to success is spoiling yourself randomly. I love that. Sometimes I feel like I spoil myself a little too much. No, just a little bit. But being okay with giving yourself the things that you desire, right? And that doesn't have to be just like massive things and just buying yourself a buku amount of stuff. But like for me, for instance, just fixing myself a really good quality meal, and not just like quick fix food, but like really nurturing and prepping my food with love, and sitting down and maybe drinking a nice glass of wine and putting something good on, and just nurturing myself and soaking myself in, and just giving myself like abundance amount of love. To me, that's spoiling myself, right? Or, if you want to think about the materialistic things, if you've been doing a good job in your field, in your world, take yourself out. Buy yourself an OP piece. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself some new shoes. Do something that's like out of the norm, right? But it's a reward. It's satisfying. Give yourself something to look forward to. We got to do that. We're humans and we're here. Allow yourself to be happy and successful, and provide for yourself in a beautiful way by giving yourself something that you truly want. And it's okay to do it for yourself and not look for other people to do it, or always giving, 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 and not really putting yourself in a position to receive. And that means receiving from yourself as well. So practice spoiling yourself from time to time. Don't be irresponsible with it, but I think it's your responsibility to also make sure that you're catering to yourself. Another hack that he gave us was investing in yourself. That's one of the main things that I've been doing for like all of my life. Investing in myself. I would spend my last dime on fitness supplements, right? On the gym, on fitness classes, on researching, on seminars, on just showing up to different events, and just investing my time, my money, and my energy so that I can level up. And it's important because if you don't invest in yourself, let's just think about investment. Investment is advancing on what you put in, right? So if you can advance on your time, so if you could give somebody your time, or give something your time in exchange for something more, some type of successful reward, do that. If you can invest your money on something that's going to make you healthier, do that. If you can invest your energy on reading a book, do that. Learn and grow and become knowledgeable and more self-aware. Invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. Nobody else is going to do it if you don't do it. And if you don't invest in yourself, that's basically spitting in your own goddamn face and saying you're not deserving of the things that you think about in your head. And that's complete false. All right, that's a facade. Don't put yourself in that position where you're thinking all damn day long, or you got yourself in a position where you're okay with suffocating your thoughts and your ideas because you're not willing to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself goes a long way. It's literally the only way to advance. You got to invest in yourself in some kind of way, right? And the most powerful one is taking time to understand. To be honest, in my life, especially right now, this is something that I feel like this is a challenge that I had to work through. Taking time to understand and not taking things personal, right? So as you move through the world, as you move through conversations, um, as you move through certain actions, taking the time to understand why people may think the way they do, why they may reason the way they do, why they may have the perspective that they do. Instead of getting upset, irritated, irritable, sad, or taking things personally, just take some time to understand. This is something that I've been practicing for probably since I started reading this book. I've been really being intentional. There's a book called The Law of Attraction by Jerry and Esther Hicks that talks about a notion of the art of allowing. And I actually started practicing that way when I was reading that book, but Dean worded it differently in this book, and I appreciated it because when you're we one of the greatest things, the best thing about us is we have a mind, right? But the thing about it is we all have different minds. And so instead of jumping to conclusion, instead of assuming, just take time to understand. I think that it will, one, advance your perspective, and it gives you reason to think and analyze, right? And have effective conversation, have effective action. I don't think many of us take the time to understand. Why do you, even yourself personally, why do you think the way you think? Why do you talk the way you talk? Why do you act the way you act? Take time to understand. Journal it. Read about it. Take time. Figure it out. All right, and we are at our last point of the significance in this book, at least from my perspective. Dean goes into what's called the challenge. He has a chapter called the challenge. And one of the main points that he makes in there that I loved is, and you're going to need to hear this, so pay attention. You need to focus on one small step at a time, and also on what's doable, and feel the change you're imagining. I'm going to read it again. You need to focus on one small step at a time, and also on what's doable, and feel the change you're imagining. Okay, that was a powerful point for me, because as a dreamer and putting myself in positions to create, my mind just goes, right? And sometimes I could put myself in a position where I feel like I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm doing too much. But at the end of the day, as Dean described, just take it one step at a time. In this journey, it's your journey, and it's always going to be a journey. You're going to always have steps and steps and steps. And to go through each step, you have to grow through each step. So it's going to be some challenges, but taking it one step at a time, not only taking it one step at a time, but just indulging in what's doable. Don't overthink what you don't have. Don't overthink the resources that are not there yet. Everything that you need is already inside of you. So focus on one step at a time and what's doable. But here's the kicker. Here's the most powerful part. In feeling the change you're imagining, okay? That is the key to success. That is a millionaire success habit. Taking it one step at a time, focusing on what's doable, and feeling the change in what you're imagining, all right? That vision in your mind, the thing that you're trying to get to, the person that you're trying to be. Each step, be intentional about feeling the changes that's taking place to your imagination, right? It's powerful. It's powerful, y'all. Look, we are powerful creatures that the universe has created. We are meant to be and do beautiful and wondrous and abundant, productive things in our world. And you have everything that you need to do that. And it takes for us to read and to learn and to invest in knowledge from other people, take other people's perspectives so that you could conjoin them all and become your own hero. and that you could also, and then so you could give it off to other people. We need you to be you. I definitely recommend you guys getting into this book. This is a highly, 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 highly recommended book. Dean is a successful man. He has seen a lot. He's been through a lot. He's learned a lot. He has many different endeavors that he has embarked on. And you could tell from his writing that he's a happy guy. He's a family guy. He gives a lot of different examples and strategies. And he's very intentional about breaking things down in a comfortable way. And that's what I really enjoyed about this book. And it's an easy read. And I think that if you really dive into it, I don't know how quickly you guys read, but you can knock that out in a good week and a half if you really wanted to. Maybe a week if you really was trying to get into it. But it's a highly recommended book. It's called Millionaire Success Habits. Dean really gave it away in this thing. And this is the extended version. So that it has 2 extra chapters at the end. What I like about the regular version, though, is he has like a notebook at the back of it. So you can actually complete your exercises in the book. I thought that was pretty cool. I think more books should have that, because I mean, if you're gonna give us exercises, put some lines in there so we could write, you know. But yeah, so that is all for this book review, Millionaire Success Habits. I am KG, and let me know in the comments if you guys like this, and let me know what you learned from this one. Let me know what aroused you, what tickled your fanny, so I can continue to make content for you all's liking. I'll see you guys next time. One love. Peace.